Hello, everyone, and welcome to the special preview webinar for the ASCP 2023 Annual Meeting in Long Beach, California. We are so thrilled to have all of you on the call today, and we have a ton of great information and insights to share with you as we go along. Today's presentation will be approximately 30 minutes or so with some additional time for Q&A at the end. So please feel free to submit any questions you have throughout the webinar in the Q&A box. So with that aside, let's have our panelists introduce themselves. I'll start. My name is Kamran Mirza. I'm an associate professor of pathology and the chair of the Live Learning Strategic Planning Committee at ASCP. Teresa?
Hello, everyone. I'm Teresa Tellier-Castellone. I am a program director for two hospital-based schools of medical laboratory science here in the wonderful state of Rhode Island. And I also have the pleasure of being on the live learning planning program for the annual meeting.
Hello, my name is Sarah Garner. I am a pathologist assistant, and I'm the program director of the Tulane University Pathologist Assistant Program in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I also have the privilege of being on that same committee. Mayumi?
Hi, my name is Mayumi Fernandez. I am a third-year pathology resident at the University of Hawaii, and I am a member of the ASCP Resident Council.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone. So what exactly is ASCP 2023? For those of you who have not experienced an ASCP annual meeting, you've been missing out, but you will discover that there is a lot to take in. On top of a robust education schedule and more than 120 sessions, you'll experience two exciting keynote addresses. You'll have time to sit down and chat about top-of-mind issues with your peers. You'll meet and network with all kinds of people from across the country and around the world, and you'll have a lot of fun in the process. The meeting will likely fly by, but you leave with so much new knowledge and hopefully a sense of energy and passion as you return home feeling ready to apply what you've learned to your day-to-day practice. The official meeting, as you can see here, is 3 days long, running from Wednesday, October 18th to Friday, October 20th. This outline gives you a quick sense of some of the primary meeting elements going on each day.
But wait, there's more. In addition to the core 3-day meeting program Cameron just introduced, this year we've added some exciting new events prior to the start of the meeting as well. This includes the release of 12 on-demand sessions that will drop the week before the meeting. We then have 2 brand new half-day workshops on site the day before the meeting starts, along with a new wine tasting event that evening. We'll get into more detail on all of those events shortly. Finally, your experience does not need to end on October 20th. Attendees can choose a registration option that includes access to all of the on-demand recordings. A total of 87 sessions will be recorded on-site in Long Beach and made available for 6 months after the meeting concludes. If you've already registered for the meeting but haven't added the on-demand option, you can return to the ASCP 2023 registration page to change your selection at any time. And of course, you can always call the ASCP Customer Relations team for help as well. Before we move on, I also want to mention that we are offering a special discount for everyone watching this webinar. The code on the bottom right of your screen can be used to save 20% when you register for the annual meeting, as well as any of the pre-meeting events held on Tuesday the 17th. And don't worry, we will put the code up again at the end of today's presentation. So here is a high-level summary of the different components of this year's meeting, along with the number of CME or CMLE credits you can earn. In Long Beach, during the core meeting dates, which are listed in that green box right there, attendees are able to earn up to 15.5 total credits. The pre-meeting on-demand sessions offer up to an additional 12 credits. If you then choose to register for a pre-meeting workshop, those each offer 4 credits. And finally, the on-demand recorded sessions allow you to watch and claim credits for any of those 87 recorded sessions you didn't catch live in Long Beach. So this year's meeting is being held in beautiful Long Beach, California. Come on, everyone who is sitting where we're starting to get cold. We know we want to fly on out to beautiful California for sure. Southwest has some deals right now, P.S. And we're going to be located at the Long Beach Convention Center. Long Beach weather in October tends to be pretty fantastic. We're looking at highs in the average mid-70s. So we have 2 host hotels this year, which you can see on the screen there, both of which are essentially adjacent to the convention center. It's not a long walk at all. If you haven't done so already, you have have until the 25th of this month to secure a room at the Westin with ASCP's discounted rate. And limited discounted rooms are still available at the Hyatt as well. Just visit the annual meeting website at ascp.org/2023 to find links to book your room.
A great new feature of this year's meeting is that we will be releasing a full set of 12 pre-recorded on-demand sessions a week before the meeting. All registered attendees can be able to access these. You'll be able to submit questions for those session speakers to review and respond to as they're able during that week leading up to the meeting. These recorded sessions will be accessible from the online meeting platform where you go to view the meeting schedule or from the ASCP 2023 app. All registered attendees will be notified by email when these sessions are available, along with more detailed instructions on how to find them. So here's a list of those full 12 sessions. Some of the highlights include teaching and learning via social media in 2023, as well as getting started on social media. There's also sessions on the ASCP Board of Certification exam development process, the ASCP Choosing Wisely Champions, and navigating your career path. You can take a look at the full schedule online or in the app if you want to see more details on each of these sessions. I'll now hand it over to Mayumi to introduce this year's pre-meeting workshops.
Thank you, Sarah. So for the first time this year, ASCP has developed 2 new 4-hour workshops that will take place in Long Beach the day before the meeting officially starts. So that will be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, October 17th. The first workshop is the esophageal biopsy pathology, pearls and pitfalls, which will provide a comprehensive review of esophageal biopsy pathology. And then second, we have the ethical development and implementation of artificial intelligence in the clinical laboratory, which I'm very excited about. And it will utilize a case-based approach to educate learners in the use of AI in the clinical laboratory and generate a discussion on ethical practice considerations. So registration for these workshops is going to be separate from the annual meeting, and you will need to register for them independently. And you can find quick links to those registration pages on this screen, or simply visit the annual meeting website to find links and more information. And as a note, anyone is welcome to register for these workshops, even if you're not attending the rest of the annual meeting. Also, another reminder, on the top left of the screen here, you are able to use this discount code to save 20% off registration for either of these workshops. And after the workshops on Tuesday, arriving attendees also have the option to participate in a very different kind of educational event. Registration is now available for a special pre-meeting wine tasting event at 5:45 p.m. led by Dr. Bruce Smaller. Dr. Smaller is well known both for his abilities in the laboratory as a pathologist, as well as his expertise with wine. You'll join other attendees in this very fun, casual event as Dr. Smaller gives a guided tasting of various wines with discussion on how to evaluate, experience, and select wine on your own. You'll find the registration link to this event on the homepage of the annual meeting, along with an introductory video recorded by Dr. Smaller himself to learn more. We are also very excited this year to announce the inaugural ASCP 5K fun run / walk / roll, kicking off on day 1 at 7 a.m. Other attendees, faculty, and ASCP staff will be there for a scenic run by the waterfront, beginning right outside of the convention center. All skill levels are invited, and this will truly be a fun run for all. So you are able to reserve your spot on the 5K during the annual meeting registration process. So if you didn't sign up already, you can return to the annual meeting page and modify your existing registration. You can also call the ASCP customer relations team, and they can help you with that as well. The race is going to be $30 per participant, and all proceeds go to benefit the ASCP Foundation. You'll also receive a one-of-a-kind race t-shirt with the fantastic mascot you see here. And just to be sure you register by this coming Monday, the 25th, to guarantee that you'll have a shirt.
Yeah, the fun runs, not so much, but definitely walk or roll is something that I can do. So now we want to switch gears to the heart of this year's education program. We really put a lot of effort into covering the most useful and critical topics our attendees are looking for, and education tracks are a great way to help give you guidance on available sessions that may be most relevant to you. To that end, we've developed 4 brand new tracks this year, including 3 for pathologists, which you can see here. So let's give a quick preview of what these tracks have to offer. So the first track I'll feature is the surgical pathology track. This track includes 35 total sessions to select from, which you can see a sampling of here. Moving on, the next one I want to feature, and I'm not biased at all, is HemePath. Hematopathology track includes 10 sessions. And again, similar to the surgical pathology track, in the hematopathology track, this includes things which are day-to-day practice, pearls and pitfalls, really honing in on what this meeting specifically can give to you. Moving on, we also have a cytopathology track, or the cytology track. This includes 5 sessions, the sampling of which is here. This can be, whether there is a rapid review series or there is the, discussion on EUS guided FNAs. There is something for everyone in any of these tracks.
So this year, we continue to offer one of our most popular components of the annual meeting, the Laboratory Professionals track. And this track consists of 16 sessions covering our high interest topics in our 4 core areas, which would include our hematology and coagulation, blood banking and transfusion medicine, microbiology, and chemistry. That's 4 sessions in each core area, developed and taught by leading laboratory professionals. This track is not only great for those who need to fulfill CMP requirements in all 4 of those areas, but also for anyone who needs to round out CMP points requirements for their other areas of interest. We have a wide variety of amazing laboratory professionals that we've been able to collect this year to touch upon each of those 4 major core topics. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And as we move on to our next new track, we have created a new laboratory management and administration track, which includes 10 sessions related to management and leadership in the lab. And today, this is a vital, very important topic for us to discuss. And we've been able to have several very key speakers, come to the meeting this year. We have the incomparable Dr. Rohde, we've got Christina Neckel and Aaron Odegaard. Our very own Dr. Mirza is giving a talk as well with Cullen Lilly. And so it's a track that we're super excited to introduce this year with our really great wide variety of speakers.
Lastly, we have an expanded pathologist assistant track this year, and there are 27 different sessions that we've rated as great for PAs. So I personally am very excited about these. I was looking through the sessions and thinking, oh my gosh, everybody's going to be so excited about these sessions, all of the PAs that are attending. So some of the highlights are on the screen here, but again, there are 27 sessions highlighted for PAs. So some of them include safety in the laboratory, which we all know we have to have those safety credits. So that is definitely a good one. And there are frozen sections from the liver, also a very good one for PAs. And then disclosing errors. There's also some fun roundtables that discuss wages and negotiation, as well as some other great sessions. So definitely check out the PA track if you're interested in that. Now let's look at how to actually find the details on the sessions in these tracks, as well as how to look at the entire meeting schedule. So you're first going to want to go to the annual meeting website at ascp.org/2023. Then you can click the link at the top of the page to view the whole schedule, or you can actually download the ASCP 2023 annual meeting app on your Apple or Android device. From there, you can navigate to the agenda and sessions page. Then you can click filters. And once you've clicked filters, then you'll see a listing of all the different tracks you can go through. So you can see also in this screenshot that you can easily filter for sessions that are tagged as being recorded for the on-demand offering, as well as a filter for specific session types or topic areas. So if you're registered for the annual meeting, you will be able to go ahead and log into the app or the website and go ahead and actually start saving your sessions now to plan your very own personal agenda.
The Resident Review Series has always been a cornerstone of the ASCP Annual Meeting for residents, offering a full series of 1-hour sessions covering one topic area at a time and incorporating instruction, Q&A, and rapid-fire study questions. This year, the series has evolved into the Rapid Review Series, offering broader application to practicing pathologists and laboratory professionals, as well as those who may be looking for a quick review session covering foundational knowledge on a specific topic area. Here is a list of the 12 topics being offered this year. These sessions span all elective periods of the meeting, allowing residents to easily jump from one session to the next over all 3 days if they would like. And you can find these sessions and more details on all of them in the full meeting schedule. Just look for the Rapid Review Series filter. Note that all 12 of these sessions are being recorded live in Long Beach, so they will also then be available for 6 months to those with the on-demand package. And as a reminder, if you did not select a registration option that includes the on-demand access, you can still add it by returning to the annual meeting registration page. And personally, as a resident studying for boards, having that 6-month access is super valuable if you want to look back on the slides and review that for later.
Great points. Thank you, Mayumi. So some of our most popular in-person sessions among pathologists every year are the virtual microscopy tutorial sessions. These are highly interactive case-based sessions that utilize video microscopy to allow for live group participation. You will work through challenging cases alongside expert speakers, providing a highly interactive and challenging learning environment. These really are a highlight, and I definitely recommend you looking into these. Now we can transition to the keynote speakers, and these are incredible featured speakers who you will get a chance to see in Long Beach. We are thrilled to have 2 dynamic keynote speakers joining us on Wednesday and Thursday. All attendees are encouraged to attend these unopposed events, and you certainly won't want to miss them. First, we have finishing out Wednesday's education program will be Hollywood icon and philanthropist Rob Lowe, who will be on stage as this year's patient advocate keynote speaker. Rob has been an outspoken and passionate advocate for patients facing cancer for decades, after personally facing the loss of 3 loved ones to breast cancer and almost losing his father to non-Hodgkin lymphoma. He joins us to speak about his experiences with the disease and the importance of continued work by everyone to support cancer survivors. #Stronger Then on Thursday morning, we will all hear from Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, this year's scientific keynote speaker. It is truly difficult to put into words the significance of Dr. Corbett's work in the fight against COVID-19. As the scientific lead of the Vaccine Research Center's coronavirus team at the United States NIH, Dr. Corbett and her team was central to the development of the Moderna COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, as well as the Eli Lilly therapeutic monoclonal antibody, both of which were first in the world to enter clinical trials. You absolutely will not want to miss the opportunity to attend the session and hear from her firsthand.
Fantastic. Now we're going to move on to our named lecture series, which includes 4 outstanding speakers covering topics of broad interest. First, we have Dr. Robert McKenna, who will present this year's Cindy Johns lecture titled 0 to 90 in 60 Years, The Story of a Cure. This session will explore the evolution of a cure for childhood acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL, one of modern medicine's most remarkable success stories. An incurable and rapidly fatal disease prior to the 1960s, ALL in children is now cured in roughly 90% of patients. So how did this happen? Dr. McKenna will dissect many aspects of this success story, including the discoveries and personalities involved, as well as the important past and present role of pathology and the clinical laboratory. This is definitely one that you don't want to miss.
Dr. Susan Harrington will present this year's Barbara M. Castleberry Lecture for Laboratory Professionals titled Professional Growth, You Can Do Hard Things. In this session, Dr. Harrington will explore approaches to developmental opportunities on the job. Using examples from personal experience, this session will consider avenues for career growth and how to prepare for the process and deal with what may hold us back.
The Arthur Purdy Stout Lecture for Pathologists will be presented on Friday morning by Dr. Sarah Dry. As a profession, we don't often discuss the legal and ethical issues surrounding the use of clinical and research biospecimens, and training programs may or may not cover this material in the curriculum. As a result, many pathologists have a poor understanding of the legal and ethical issues surrounding clinical and research biosamples. This case-based discussion will review the critical issues for both clinical and research biosamples and will provide suggestions for managing requests and questions in a compliant manner that respects patients.
And finally, this year's Michelle Rabel Lecture for Residents will be presented by a very familiar face, Dr. Kamran Mirza. This thought-provoking session will delve into the intricate world of translocations in health and life. You will journey into the realm of cellular biology to understand how translocations can drive diseases like CML or chronic myeloid leukemia, where genetic material takes unexpected paths, causing a cascade of consequences. Beyond the laboratory, this session will explore how translocations serve as powerful metaphors for change, adaptation, and personal growth in our lives. I would also like to call out another important feature for residents, and that will be the 2023 Fellowship Fair. The fair is being held this year, the evening of day one, Wednesday, the 18th, within the exhibit hall during the opening reception. ASCP first launched the Fellowship Fair at the 2019 annual meeting in Phoenix with a strong showing of both programs and residents and has continued each year since. Every year, the fair brings in 20 to 30 participating programs from around the country with a combined total of 200 or more open pathology fellowships. This event is always packed with a very lively and highly interactive atmosphere. It's perfect for anyone actively looking for a fellowship, as well as for younger residents who may want to get their feet wet and take the opportunity to talk with different programs that are there. Keeping on a similar theme, I also want to call out the ASCP Workforce Lounge. During all core hours of the meeting, the Workforce Lounge allows attendees to connect with fellow colleagues in a very informal space. It will feature tools, resources, and practical advice for anyone who is looking to expand their organizational development, recruit new employees, improve culture, improve retention efforts, and for those who are seeking new employment or a new role. You will see the lounge prominently located on the second floor of the convention center, along with an available private room for networking and mentoring sessions. And finally, all attendees will want to be sure to check out the Hot Topics meetups. These are a very lively small group discussions covering top of mind topics. They are lightly moderated, but very open discussions, and they are a fantastic chance to meet and share ideas with other attendees just like you. You'll find open seating at designated tables on both Wednesday and Thursday night.
You know, I was pumped before, but now I'm like even more pumped for this meeting. This is great. Thank you, everyone. And now we'd like to address some of your questions. Thank you again to anyone who's already submitted a question so far. As a reminder, please use the Q&A box to submit any further questions you might have. If we aren't able to address every question at this time, we will be sure to follow up with answers to more of your questions via email, along with the recording of today's webinar. All right. Okay, so I welcome everyone in the panel to help answer these questions. And so there's some which are operational, and I know that some of our expert ASCP staff are already answering the question. Lots of people are saying thank you. That's really great. So the first question, and I guess we might request one of the staff members to help us, is about arrangements made for those outside the United States to attend the meeting.
Yep, I can take that one. So anyone from outside the US is, of course, welcome to attend and join us. And we don't have special arrangements, but of course, you can travel in and we can provide a letter for you as needed for visa requirements. And Yep, I think that's the majority. If you have further questions about your specific situation, you can definitely call our customer relations team who can help talk you through it as well.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. There's a question about anticipated COVID-related precautions. Jason, do we have any specifics on that?
We don't have any specific precautions to communicate for this year's meeting, so no, there's nothing to be aware of at this time.
Thank you. Yep. So just some common sense precautions that we can all use ourselves to stay safe and for everyone to stay safe. That's wonderful. So there are already some answered questions. We are still hanging around in case you guys have more questions. When are you guys coming in? Let's just chat a little bit as it's coming in. I'm gonna end up coming in on the 17th. So hopefully I'll end up seeing at least the 3 of you there, if not everybody else.
I also will be flying in on the 17th. It's not too long of a flight from Hawaii, so hopefully I'll have time to join some of those.
Oh, that's true, Hawaii. That's wonderful. That's maybe the location isn't as spectacular for you because you're coming from Hawaii, but for us, like Teresa was saying, this is going to be like a great. It's going to be a great space. That's wonderful. So I know that there's some other questions coming in. There's some questions about food. Hold on one second. Let's see. So there's a question about deadline to register. So you can find most of the information on the ASCP website. There's a beautiful website that has all the program schedule. It was described during the webinar. You can actually go and filter sessions. You can find the tracks. And so all deadlines and information can be found there as well.
Looks like there was a question about registering for tracks. And just as a reminder, no, you do not need to register for tracks. We've put them there for you guys to filter and find, the specific content that you are really looking for, and to also be able to see all of the content that we are offering to all attendees. So it's really just, they've been developed to really show our individual attendees what we have for them, but you can certainly attend any lecture that is being given that you would like to go and see.
Wonderful. There's a question about whether any events are limited seating, first come, first serve basis. Off the top of my head, I think the live video microscopy tutorials likely have a seat number, only because if it's at a microscope, it'll likely have a number. Other than that, I can't really think of any. If there are any, I'm sure the staff members will help chime in and give us a specific about a limited seating or first come, first serve basis. There's a question about on-site poster printing options. So this may not be an official ASCP answer, but typically wherever there's a convention center, you can find a FedEx print, close by. I've done this in the past myself, where instead of printing and then taking with me a poster, I basically just have it printed near the convention center. So that would be my first guess, to just check out what places are available for printing near the Long Beach Convention Center. I don't think that there's any formal affiliation that ASCP has with any one of them. There's a question about if a printable version of all these sessions is available. So I know that you can get all of the sessions online. I'm not sure. Will we have a printed version? Devin, do you know?
Yes, I can chime in here. So currently it is online, where you can view interactively all of the sessions by day or the entire schedule. We are working on developing a PDF that we will post closer to the meeting that you can download and print to help guide through the schedule.
Wonderful. And then there's a question about registration on site every day or only once.
Yep, I can jump in on that again. Please check in and register the first morning that you are there. The first day that you are there, you will get your badge, and then you're free to pop in and out of sessions for the remaining days of the meeting.
And since we're asking you to answer these questions, Devin, can you also tell us about whether they can purchase the on-demand after the meeting?
Yes, they absolutely can. As you heard earlier, Teresa was highlighting those recordings that will be offered afterwards, 80+ recordings. Jason, do you want to chime in with any specifics about that on-demand package?
Sure, yeah. Attendees, like we said, attendees can add that to their registration anytime, either now or during the meeting or after the meeting. And you can even do it on site if you want staff at the registration desk to help you with that. But you will be able to register for that anytime during technically the 6 months that it's available.
So there's a question that anonymous attendee has asked me specifically, but I'm actually going to open it up to Sarah, Teresa, and Mayumi. The question is specifically how we would recommend Path Match 24 applicants to connect with faculty and residents from programs of interest. And I'll just broaden the question about networking in general, and I'd love to hear your insights as well. I'll take a stab at the Path Match 24 answer. I think that these meetings, similar to social media connections, the networking at these meetings can be incredible. My recommendation is to keep an open mind, to be as outgoing as you can be, to reach out and, meet people, introduce yourselves. The fellowship fair is a great opportunity. And I think that all of us, many of us met at these types of meetings and became friends there. So I think that not just Path Match 24, but in general, any part of your journey, in professional journey, these can be helpful. Sarah, Teresa, any other advice about networking?
The hot topics tables might be a really great place to meet people as well. Where we're gathering somewhat informally, if you will, to chat amongst ourselves that have similar, likes and interests. And so that's also a good place to meet people. But that room where we have all of our booths, and all of our vendors, is a really great collection spot to run into people that that you want to meet. And as Dr. Mirza was just saying, you can certainly do a lot of your networking. So yeah, it's just coming to the meeting is a really great place to meet, to network, do the face-to-face thing.
I would agree with being as outgoing as you can. Sometimes it's hard, but everybody there loves pathology, right? So you can always find something to talk to somebody about there. I would say any of the little coffee breaks, you can meet people that will end up being colleagues, friends there. Any of the interactive sessions like the round tables or anything like that. And even just walking around the convention center, you can use people's name tags to see, where do they work or what state are they in? And you can just start a discussion with that. So the other thing I would recommend is using the hashtags on social media, whether it's Twitter, now X, or Instagram, and using those, because leading up to the meeting, the benefit of having all these pre-recorded sessions ahead of time is people will start posting about them now and saying, I'm going, are you going? And so you can start to see kind of who's going and then plan to network with them like that.
Wonderful. Thank you both. So I know that there's a question about wheelchair accessibility. I'm going to take a stab at that and probably say that, based on federal guidelines, I'm sure that there should be wheelchair accessibility. But Devin or Jason, any specifics? Do we know about the convention center being wheelchair accessible?
It absolutely is accessible, and we'll ensure that we have specific instructions or guidance posted throughout.
Wonderful. And Devin, because you're on again, they're asking about CME credit. So what's the T on that?
Let me see here. What specifically?
So I guess the question was, are we going to get CME credit? It's just a general question.
Okay, so let me take a stab at this. Absolutely, for attending the annual meeting. Many credits are available, actually a maximum of over 150 based on all the various components. As a result of attending this meeting, we do not actually have credit attached to this. This is more of an opportunity for us to build excitement and really chat with everyone about what is to come.
Thank you, Devin. Several people have asked about food, refreshments. I know that convention centers typically have, little cafe areas for caffeine, etc., with coffee breaks, etc. I'm assuming that some of our vendors will likely have some coffee breaks as well. I don't think that there'll be any gourmet food as part of the meeting, which typically doesn't happen, but I'm pretty certain for all the people who are asking about food or refreshments, there are some that you can probably get to in the convention center. So that should be okay. Hold on.
There's also an In-N-Out that is not too far convention center as well. So
good to know. Good to know. All right. Do we so someone's asking if we have a theme color. I don't know if you ever had theme colors before, to be honest. But our marketing team has done a fantastic job with all of these colors that you can see in our background for the ASCP annual meeting. People are asking about childcare support nearby. Devin or Jason, do we know specifically if there's any childcare support nearby?
We will absolutely find out and publish that within our documents within the meeting platform or any FAQs. Thank you for bringing that up.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. I can tell you that ASCP is always stronger together, and our staff is like the miracle behind the scenes people who just make everything happen. That's really wonderful. So, all right, let me just see if there's anything specific that we can perhaps ask for. So there's a question about the visa application letter. So Jason already mentioned, if you would like to reach out to the ASCP staff about your specific situation for travel, there is a mechanism to provide a letter for attendees for visa, for example. So I think that probably answers that question. That's great. There are questions being asked about, what other types of sessions can be there. And so someone has mentioned, more molecular biology techniques. So I think that, and I'll open it up to everybody. I think that the beauty of this meeting is that it actually encompasses every aspect of pathology and laboratory medicine. There is, from behind the scenes, I can tell you that there is a beautiful mechanism for us to make sure of how many sessions per particular subspecialty, making sure that PAs, medical laboratory professionals, pathologists, residents, trainees, all types of students, there is something for everyone, including things in molecular biology, right, which comes under laboratory medicine. And so we really make sure from a curricular perspective to check all of those boxes. And I'm pretty certain that you can, when you look into the tracks, you'll be able to find more relevant materials for your type of practice as well. All right, so I think that we've answered at least some of these questions. Any last thoughts? I'll open it up to all three of you. Last parting words about the excitement for the meeting. We'll go Teresa, Mayumi, Sarah. Teresa, you're up.
If you're on the webinar and we get to travel to Long Beach, please come say hi. I'd love to make some new friends while I'm there. So thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate it.
Mayumi.
I just also wanted to reiterate how, as a resident, this meeting has been so impactful in my training in both meeting people and also educationally. So I really encourage all of you to attend, and I'm excited to meet everybody.
Wonderful. Sarah.
I would also reiterate that this meeting is very, very helpful for me as a PA. I've met a lot of wonderful people at these meetings and through these things. And the other tip that I would give is, with technology these days, you can be in two places at once. So make your schedule strategically. And if you want to go to two sessions at once and one is recorded, take advantage of that. It's pretty cool that we can do that these days. Last year, I think I ended up being in 3 places at once because you can.
That's such a great point. So I think that the four of us definitely need to take a selfie when we get to Long Beach, California, and then we should post it on our channels. I echo what these wonderful individuals have said. We are very, very excited for the annual meeting. Thank you for being part of this preview webinar. I hope it has instilled more activation energy and has been a catalyst for you to come to the meeting. Remember, we are all stronger together. This meeting is for everyone, and we look forward to seeing you in Long Beach. Take care.